I'd like to introduce the next speaker, Brother Abdur Raheem. He's come from Rochdale today. Previously he was a Christian, then he became an atheist, and now, alhamdulillah, he's embraced Islam. So,
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, brothers and sisters, I've got 20 minutes, so I'm going to try and cram in as much as I can get in, yeah? And there's quite a lot to get through, but inshallah we'll do it together. So, the story starts really where most things start. It starts at home. It starts with the way I was brought up. It starts with my mum and my dad. Now, my mum and my dad, they're both Christian, but Christian by denomination, Christian by name, not really by what they practice. And so, as I was growing up, there's myself and I have an older brother. There was just the four of us in the family. As we were growing up, all Christianity was to us. It was really just a set of phrases that would be spoken. It was a place that we went every Sunday. That was all it really meant. And it was very much detached from our lives. It was just something that we did. It didn't affect what was right and what was wrong. Now, we used to go to the Sunday school, and when we'd go there, I used to find it really boring. My brother used to find it really boring. And I used to say, Mum, look, why are you sending us here? Why are we going? And to show just what little an effect it really had on the way that we viewed our lives, my mum said, she said, look, the secondary school that we want you to get into, it's a Church of England school. And to get into this school, you need X amount of hours logged at Sunday school. So as soon as you get into Sunday school, it's okay, you don't have to go. So bless her, at least she was honest with me. And I said, okay, fine, I'll go. So we carried on going. And eventually the day came when the letter arrived in the post and it said, congratulations, you've got into the school. And that was it. I never went to church again. That was it. It was to such an extent that we were Christian, but and even deeper, we were Methodists specifically. Now, Methodism is a type of Christianity where they don't even drink, but in my house there was still alcohol. So it was very much a double standard kind of a thing. And what we found was that Christianity, and even the way that we viewed religion, aside from being a set of phrases and a set of beliefs, it didn't affect what we viewed as what was right and what was wrong. It didn't affect our purpose in life. It didn't affect our goals and how we wanted to achieve them. It didn't give us a means to do that. And so it was very much wishy-washy for us. And as I was growing up, I thought, okay, well, realistically, what's the point in us doing this? What's the actual reason we believe in it? And as I said, I got into this school by this point, so I was 11 years old, 12 years old. And this, as I said, was a Church of England school, so every morning you'd have your hymns and you'd sit there and you'd pray, and then, you'd have your communion every few weeks and you'd go and you'd have some wine and a bit of bread, and that was really all it was. It was rituals and things like that. And so I started to question it, and I started to think, hang on a minute, all these people who they say that they believe in God, it doesn't affect their lives in any way. They just do what they want, they go out and even what they view as right and wrong and how they spend the time, they just make it up. And I started to think, is there even any truth to this? Is there even any reason why we believe these things and we do these things? So I started to ask, an 11-year-old started to ask people, is there a God? Why are we doing this? And what I found was that the more people I asked, the more and more I went into it and said, well, look, if there's so many natural disasters in the world, how can there be a God who's all loving? It doesn't make sense. And this is an 11-year-old kid talking to grown adults, and they're like, well, yeah, but, you've got to have faith. It's good, it's nice, believe in it. And I was like, no, if you can't prove it, if you don't know why you believe in it, why? Why are we doing these things? Because I find them a bit silly, to be honest. And they used to say, no, you can't say those things, you can't say those things. And I said, okay, well then, how do we know that the Bible is the truth? And again, because it tells the greatest story ever told, so you should believe in it. I said, yeah, well, that doesn't prove that it's true, because it's a good story. I said, why do we believe in it, and how do we know that a God exists? And the more I went through it, the more I found that nobody could answer these questions. All these people who told me to believe in it for years and years, these people who worked in a school that taught it to kids, they couldn't answer these basic questions. And so the day came when, as an 11-year-old, I said, you know what? Nah, it's not true, there's nothing out there, there is no God. And so as we know, that later on it was La ilaha illallah. I got the first bit there, La ilaha, there is no God. And so I lived my life that way then. I started to grow up, you can imagine, 12 years old then. I hit teenage, and I get older and older and older, and I don't believe in a God at this point. So I don't believe that there's a heaven, I don't believe that there's a hell. I don't believe there's a right, I don't believe there's a wrong. Good and evil, they're points of view. So I'm growing up as a teenager thinking, well, hey, I can do what I want. And that's what I did. Because there was no morality now. I used to look at the people around me, the religious people, the people who said, yeah, but we believe in God, and I used to think, you what? What are you talking about? No, I'm so much smarter than you people. I used to think, I used to think, you people, you're daft. I've figured it out, you haven't. And now, as I say, I grew up, and it was just all about the here and the now. It was about your momentary pleasures, getting whatever you can. And obviously there was a lot of parties, there was all sorts of stuff going on, and I did it all. And the more and more I did it, there was a splinter in the back of my mind saying, yeah, but why are you doing this? Why do you believe in God? Well, why are you doing this? Why are you living your life this way? And I used to think, well, because I'm enjoying it, I'm enjoying my life, it's good, it's great. But it was still there. Yeah, but why? What are you achieving? What's the point of this? And I just ignored it, I just buried it in the back of my mind, and I carried on enjoying life. But it used to crop up all the time, periodically. Yeah, but why? Why are you here? Why are you doing this? And I thought, no, shut up, I'm not going to listen to my mind, I'm going to enjoy life. Carried on doing it. You get into college, again, you step everything up, the things that you're getting into, and really what it is, you build up a tolerance. You can only enjoy yourself so much before something becomes boring. And it continually happened. I had access to anything I wanted to do. There was no right or wrong, there was no restriction. I didn't feel bad doing anything because I could just go out and do it. But still, it got to a point where I wasn't enjoying it. It wasn't enough, I needed more, And then I get into university. And again, I go through university and the same thing's happening. All the while, this thing in my mind is building up. Why are you here? Why are you doing it? What's the reason for this? And it gets to a point where I start to think about it more and more, and I can't avoid the question now in my sort of final years of university. And so I turned around to the people who I used to hang out with, my mates and stuff, and I said, look, we go out every night and we all get wasted, and then we wake up in the morning and we regret it, but then by the night we do it again. Why are we bothering to do this? What's the point? And you know what they said? They said, yeah, because it's good, you should do it. It's a good thing to do. In the exact same way that the Christians who I'd grown up with had said the same thing. And I said, okay, yeah, but how do we know that this is the best way to live our lives? And again, they went, because it's good, just do it, enjoy it. And I thought, wait a minute, you guys don't even know why you're doing this. And I said to him, why do we find this so enjoyable when at the end of it all it's boring? We don't have anything to show for ourselves, we haven't achieved anything in our lives. Why are we doing this? It's all for the here and now, where are we going? And this guy said, oh, shut up, what are you talking about? Forget it, just enjoy yourself, have another one. And this goes on and on and on. They start to get sick of me saying it every time we go out. I used to say, look at these people going around. You think they're going to remember any of this in the morning? You think they're going to enjoy it? But to each their own, and I carried on doing it, so I was a bit of a hypocrite myself. Even though I didn't enjoy it, I carried on doing it. But it got to a point where I left university. And when I left university, I looked around me and I thought, right, okay, I've graduated now. What does everybody do when they graduate? They go out, they get a job, they 9 to 5 it for the rest of their lives, and then you die. Is that it? Is that what your life is? And I thought, no, it can't be. There's got to be more to life than that. Because if that's all there is, then forget it. I'm not even going to bother doing that. If there's nothing at the end of it all, if there's no reason for me to actually do it other than to please myself, I'm happy enough just staying in bed. I'll just do that. And it really started to bug me. It really started to bug me that, look, there must be something out there. But at the same time, my mind was fighting itself because I was saying, yeah, there's more out there, but there is no God, so it can't be that. So what could it be? And I was confused. Now, what had happened was, whilst I'd been at university, I got lucky because I was the last year when it was £1,200 a year. So I just got in there. So I paid for my fees myself. I had a weekend job which paid for it. And at that place, it was only kind of, medial sort of warehouse work. But at that place, there were about 1,000 staff who worked there. And it was 75% Muslim. Bengali brothers, Pakistani brothers, those kind of backgrounds.